get up and go. Hey everybody, Dwayne and Lori here. Dwayne and
Lori.
How's everybody doing? We had a busy day today. Well, you can see different setting here today. We've got almost 100 degrees outside, so it's a little warm for us to be out on the pasture. And we wanted to try to get a little better picture quality for you guys. Since we froze last time and had some technical difficulties. But we've been really busy, so we've got livestock on the farm for another week, besides the layers that we have all the time. But we've got, halfway through the pigs, and we've still got 3 of those left. And the broilers, we've got that coming up this coming Friday, so those we will be processing with our son Austin.
Daryl from Baton Rouge, hello.
Hey Daryl, what's up, man? Baton Rouge. Yeah, Daryl's with us like every week.
That's cool.
Thanks for being here, Daryl. Baton Rouge. Still makes me want crawfish every time I hear Baton Rouge.
We got Cecilia, hello from Rich and Cecilia in Las Vegas.
Ooh, Vegas. How's it going, guys? Glad you guys are here. I'll bet it's warm in Vegas too. And it's definitely warming up here.
Yeah, we were in mid-90s this week.
Mid-90s during the week, almost 100 degrees today. Yeah, I know the broilers are having a heck of a time with the heat, which we knew was going to happen. So.
Yeah. Daryl said he's doing very well.
Good to hear it, Daryl. I imagine it's probably starting to get sweaty there, huh?
Alan, hi gang, volume a bit low.
Volume's low? All right.
How do we increase that?
That is a good question. I don't know. Let's see. That's part of the issue with equipment sometimes. It's close to us. Let's see. Let me know if the volume sounds a little bit better. Hopefully. We'll see.
And then Eric, thanks for talking about my pear issue this morning. Hope it makes it. When the root balls fell apart, I died inside.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what. So Eric, I'm just going to tell everybody. So you had some pear trees that you put in the ground, and I know one of them was a Barley. And when you went to put them in the ground, the root balls basically broke apart. And it looked like there was basically just a bare root tree for the most part. But they were potted. It sounds like they were leafing out. And the problem is, after you planted it, the leaves started kind of getting crispy and falling off, and concerned whether or not it'll make it. So I know we talked a little bit about whether or not you would prune it back. And I know I think you had replied back. I just haven't seen it because we've been busy today. But I'm not sure that I would prune it back. Only because we're getting into that time of the summer when the trees actually, they don't necessarily die back, but they kind of stop that growth for the real warm summers that we have, and then they come back strong in the fall. So I'd probably take it easy if you're going to prune it back at all, and then just see plenty of water and just kind of keep an eye on it. Hope for the best.
Okay, got a few more here. Daryl,
Yep.
Do y'all plan on planting starfruit?
Starfruit. Well, I'll tell you what. So we talk a lot about tropicals and our struggles with tropicals. I know starfruit, I would like to, because it's a cool fruit. I think if we ever go out and try to do tropicals, I think we would start with a mango, because Lori.
Love mangoes.
Yep, she loves mangoes, so I think we'd probably start with that. But starfruit would definitely be on the list. I think we'd still want to give that a shot.
Yep. And then Alex, thoughts on foil? I can never say that.
Foliar feeding?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so we do not do foliar feeding, at least not with the fruit trees. So I think that there's a place for that, and I think that there is probably some benefit to it. We just don't have the time to do it. So, obviously we do a lot of fruit trees here. We love our fruit trees, but we don't spend the extra time to go through and foliar feed. And it's really a time issue. We have to manage the farm, and we wouldn't be able to consistently do that. I think that there's really not a downside to it. I think that there are definitely some benefits that you can gain from that. So I think if you want to add that to your regimen, it's definitely not going to hurt the tree as long as you're doing it at the right time. So you don't want to do it in the middle of the day when you're going to possibly burn leaves. So in the evenings, you know, sunset, that way it dries nice and quick before that sun's back on it the following day. But we just don't have the time to do it here.
All right, and we have BB Globe. Oh, I got several here. BB Globe, yes, finally made a live.
Cool.
Love your channel.
Awesome.
You two have a sun-kissed glow, looking good.
Yeah, we do.
Many hours in the sun.
That's what happens when you're in the sun. We're in the sun all day today again today. It happens, that's for sure.
And then Daryl, I need a hug also. Oh my, it's actually covered up.
Yeah, okay, so you have to show everybody your shirt. Hopefully you can get that. There you go.
You can read it.
Yeah. So she needs a huge margarita, but we don't have a margarita today.
I don't have a margarita today, but I always need a hug also. But yeah.
Oh. You need a hug?
Let's see. I always need a hug. Not really.
I'll take care of that later.
Roy, hi from Gilbert. I know you have a lot of room for veggie planting, but are you planning to do any vertical gardening like cucumbers on a trellis?
Oh, absolutely. That's funny you asked that question. So that's a great question. Lori actually was just talking about how we can get trellising inside the vineyard garden, and cucumbers actually was one of the things we had talked about. So we definitely will. We don't have trellising set up for it yet. In fact, Daniel, I don't know whether you're on here or not, but I know I've seen some of your trellising, and then also Alan, you sent a video of your backyard, and we thought the way you have your trellising set up as you go back into your backyard looks incredible, and we really, really like that.
Yeah.
So, so we will definitely do some trellising, and man, I would love to have cucumbers hanging off trellising. That would be cool.
Yeah. Daryl, that too, my shirt, I think. Baby, LOL, love it. Alan, nice shirt. Then a message held for review. Eric, have you ever tasted Armenian cucumbers?
So we have not grown Armenian cucumbers. I have tasted them before. So do like that kind of mellow flavor that they have, and they get massive. So I think it's definitely on my list. In fact, it's going to be the one that I want to try to get into the ground, just because I think that, I know they do fantastic here, and it's a massive cucumber. So, yeah. And we choose cucumbers every morning. Yeah. So it would be good to have, a nice big cucumber.
Yeah. That's solid. It's Ahmed. Hi guys.
Ahmed, how you doing? Glad you're here.
Alan. Magnet on my sister's refrigerator. A day without wine is like, just kidding. I have no idea.
I like that too.
Love it.
You can see the wine behind us. And this is our backup rack. So this is the overflow from our main rack.
Yeah. Wine is definitely a daily.
Yes. Yeah.
Necessity around here.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Did I miss anybody?
No, I think I got everybody so far.
Okay, cool. I know I think one of the things that we want to do for you guys on these is we have people that ask us questions all the time in the comment sections on YouTube, and I try to answer and get to all of them. And we have a lot of times where people will watch old videos and ask questions, and a lot of people don't see them, but a lot of times they're actually very, very good questions. So I think I'm going to write a few of those down. And
yeah, I think we need to bring some of those because not everybody sees those.
Yeah.
Roy, when is the best time to plant blackberries?
Blackberries. So best time to plant, so I'm going to lump blackberries in with fruit trees because it's basically, you're dealing with the same time frames. So your blackberries are basically deciduous, although they don't completely lose their leaves like we do with the fruit trees. So your best time to get blackberries in is basically fall through early spring. I think at this point, if you're here in Arizona, you're a little bit too late to throw a blackberry into the ground. You're probably pushing it. If you do, you definitely would need to give it probably some shade protection, which we generally don't like to do, but they're really just starting to take off. We're going to be talking about them in the vlog you guys will see tomorrow, and you'll see the blackberries are just going gangbusters right now. But those were all planted fall through early winter this year here, and that gives them enough time to get established before the heat really sets in. The heat can be tough on blackberries, and depending on the variety that you choose, it can be really tough. And the Triple Crown blackberry, the Primark blackberry, any version of Primark, we have the Freedom here, but those two are your go-tos, at least as far as we've seen. I think we've tried 5 or 6 different, maybe 7 different varieties of blackberries. Those are our 2 go-tos, and right now the Colombian Thornless, or I think, no, it's Colombian Giant Thornless is doing really good. But to answer your question, definitely want to plant those fall through early spring, so October-ish through probably, I would say March, early March is what I would do.
All right, Cecilia, we have a super young small Satsuma tree planted a month ago. The leaves are getting brown, crispy spots on them. Could this be a watering issue? She's heavily mulched, just like you taught us.
Okay, so yeah, if you're seeing browning of the leaves, yellowing and browning of the leaves, and spots.
Brown, crispy spots.
Okay, so that almost sounds like overwatering. It almost sounds like there might be fungus because of the spots. The spots is what would concern me the most on that one. Definitely heavy mulch, that's good. Let me know how often you're watering. So if you're watering deep but infrequently, like once a week, or are you watering every day? So let me know on that one.
Okay, Eric, did you decide if you will be keeping pigs permanently to ease the blow of those processing days?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, do we ever not look forward to those products? I'm still not looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
So I think we probably will keep at least a handful of pigs year round. We really, really enjoy raising pigs. We love it. I mean, so far that's my favorite animal is pigs. So obviously a smaller breed, something that we can keep. I think I would like to breed a smaller pig so that we can share the love, so to speak, with other folks, because I know folks look for that. I just don't know what breed yet. So I like the American Guinea Hog. I know that there's some crosses out there. I think that would be a good one as long as we can get it plenty of shade and a good wallow. And I probably would want to get a pair. I don't want to have just a single pig year round. They definitely hang out together.
They
so
do.
I wouldn't want it to be by itself.
Okay, so we have several here. Alan, how's the timing on new livestock looking?
Yeah, so Alan, Alan who?
Turbin.
Okay, what's up, Alan? How's it going, man?
He already said something earlier, but okay.
I know, but I was thinking the other Alan. So.
Oh, you've got like 7 more on.
All right, sorry. So what was it again?
How's the timing on new livestock looking?
Okay, so new livestock. So right now we're working on fencing today. So the neighbor that we share a side with on our east side, and where we have our livestock acre, and then the 2 acres that we're going to use for running larger livestock, we need to get that fenced in. That's going kind of slow right now. So assuming we can get that done over the summer, the plan is to go heavier in the fall. What I don't want to do is we have not kept goats and we have not kept cattle. So we've done chickens and pigs. I don't want to bring on multiple different types of animals and have that learning curve happening all at the same time. So we're going to probably start with cattle because we have access to cattle with family. So we'll probably do cattle first and kind of go from there and kind of see how we do. So I'm thinking cattle and then hopefully goats and or sheep by early spring.
Okay.
I probably missed a lot of questions. Sorry, guys.
We're going. Juan, hey guys, indoors. Yes,
Hey, Juan.
it's time. Too hot.
Yes, it is.
Out. And then nice wine rack. Are they
Yeah.
full?
Yes, they're full.
They're all full.
We actually just put those up there. We finished 81 bottles of wine about a month ago.
Yep.
We lay them on the side in the boxes just to make sure we don't have any explosions, and then that comes back out.
Jet racks, yep. Jeff checking in from Gilbert, enjoying the videos. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
That shut off.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Cecilia, we're watering once a week for 2 hours. She's on drip and has a watering ring. Once
a week for 2 hours on drip. Man, I don't know. If you're still seeing that with that tree, I mean that's a. I don't have good bedside manners. I wouldn't make a good doctor. That does not sound good for your tree. A Satsuma should be doing well this time of year. Mandarins can definitely struggle during the summertime. We are not there yet. So I'm not sure.
Maybe send some pictures.
Yeah, maybe send some pictures to us. You guys know, if you don't have our email address, you can find that in the About section here on YouTube. So email us pictures. I'd like to see that, and a picture of the tree and the surrounding area, so we can kind of put our heads together and see if we can figure that out.
Daz, good day, guys.
Daz,
good day.
What's up, man? Daz, I've got your video up on the viewer vids, and then I just haven't caught up on your videos. You are posting fiend, man. You're posting more than we do. Gotta catch up on your stuff.
Ahmed, why don't you use drip irrigation? Is there any particular reason?
Yeah, so drip irrigation, you definitely can use drip irrigation. In fact, the old farm, so if you guys watch our older videos, you guys are looking at drip irrigation. Now, ideally, you would have something that's heavier. Essentially, what you want to do is drench the soil. One of the things that we have here in Arizona is we have it's a very mineral-rich soil, and every once in a while, that soil really needs to kind of be drenched so it can drain and flush some of those heavy minerals. So that's really the reason why you want to go with some type of flood type irrigation is ideal. However, you can definitely use drip irrigation. You're just going to need to use larger or higher gallons per hour. So we were using 4 gallon per hour emitters, and I think we had 3 per tree on the old farm, and we would run that for probably 3 to 4 hours and do it a couple times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. So you definitely can. You just need to make sure you're getting plenty of water at one time because it needs a lot.
Yeah. Alan Turbin. Yep, other Alan. My trellises suck. We need a video.
We do. I'd like to see it.
Okay.
And that's Florida. So.
John just checked in from London. Great to see you live.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Hello in London. Man, talk about totally different London compared to here. That's for sure.
Cecilia will do. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, definitely send that over.
Is it Alid? Hi.
Who is it?
Alid Sandblasting.
Oh, Alid Sandblasting?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I think we're caught up now on those.
Oh, good deal. I'm trying to remember the question that we had earlier.
Well, there's one about rootstock also, like what is the rootstock, what is grafting, what is, cuttings.
Yeah, so one of the things that we had, one of the newer viewer asked some questions that sometimes I just take for granted that everybody that's watching our videos knows some of the basics. Like, I know we got a lot of you guys out there that are tree people, and you guys have your own fruit trees, and you guys have got things going on as much or more than us in some instances, but asked about rootstock and like what is a rootstock, and was going through the process of answering that. So I think one of the things that I want to make sure that I do is start covering some of those basic things again with folks. We have a lot of new subscribers and viewers every week, and I think sometimes going back to those basics would be good. So
yeah, especially people that are just starting out with their food forest and wanting to do that, and yeah,
I agree.
we take it for granted that everybody does know that.
Yeah.
Justin Miller catching a stream from south of Kennewick.
Kennewick.
Is that Washington?
Ooh, Washington. Oh, I bet it's nice up there right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would like to be in Washington right now because it's almost 100 degrees outside. And it's really dry.
Sam B, hello. This is Sam from San Juan Valley. How are your loquats doing? Do you fertilize them, and what percentage do you use?
Okay, so the loquats are doing good. They're growing well, not as fast as I was hoping. But as far as fertilizing, we follow the same schedule with them as we do with the rest of the fruit trees. So for us here in Arizona, that's February, May, and September. And with those particular trees, because they're evergreens, we make sure that we always have a nice high nitrogen fertilizer. So we've been using a conventional fertilizer at the front while we have all of our new trees, which is in Arizona's Best, which was a 15-15-15. But we're going to be transitioning into chicken manure because that's nice and high in nitrogen. So we'll be using that on our citrus and loquat trees. So that is what we will be going to, and probably need to do that basically, if not this month, then we will definitely do that in September, because we're starting to see soil life, and I don't want to take any chances with a conventional fertilizer in destroying that soil life.
Juan, been enjoying the bloopers, always fun to see.
Yeah, the bloopers. Yeah, those always happen. We had it again today. It's funny because we're just going through the motions is what we do. It's kind of how we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens constantly. Usually I'm not hurting myself, but it does happen. Usually I'm just emotionally scarred afterwards.
All right, plentiful harvest homestead greetings from Michigan. 65
Ooh.
and sunny here. Jealous.
65 and sunny, my goodness. That is like December for us.
Yeah. How
bet
is
it's
the
beautiful
corn doing in the pig area?
No. So yeah, so actually we didn't really cover the pig area all that well, I think, in the vlog for today. But not really all that well. So we've got a few that are decent size, probably I don't know, a foot or so tall, but they're not growing very fast. And I think that this was a test to see what it would be like planting behind pigs. And we're going to talk more about the importance of livestock and integrating livestock on a farm, and deciding how you're going to bring fertility onto the farm. And obviously the test behind the pigs, I think we had bad timing because it was a little bit late. It was really warm and very dry. And I think it needed actually more fertility, believe it or not. So, because of all those greens. So right now it's doing okay, but not near as good as I was hoping. I think we got maybe a couple dozen corn.
Yeah, and some of them, they're getting to. There's a couple that are probably this tall. So,
Yeah.
but it's not all of them.
No, so it definitely didn't take off the way we were hoping that it would. So.
Yeah. All right, plentiful harvest homestead. We're planning to move to Hereford, Miracle Valley within the year. So especially appreciative of your videos and are absorbing all the information we can. So thanks for sharing, and we're praying for you.
Awesome. Oh, and thank you.
Where is
cover
that? Is that in Michigan? I'm assuming also, or
It's got to be. Isn't that? I think it's Michigan. I'm not sure. I don't think it's
Miracle
Arizona.
Valley?
Could be. There's some crazy towns in Arizona. Crazy names like, was it Two Arrows?
Enjoyed your video on making sauerkraut. Plan to try it soon. Do you
Yes.
plan on doing on canning?
Yes, we will have some videos on canning. We have.
So that's on the other channel.
It is. Yeah, that's on the Healthy Farm Living channel. So we haven't posted much there because we've been so busy on this channel.
We have been so busy that we had not had the time to do videos for that channel.
Yeah, we need to, because we do pressure canning of our chicken stock from our pastured chickens. And we do some other canning beets, and we've done some pickled beets before. We've canned several things before. But yeah, we definitely will. We need to.
We need to. Just need the time to do it.
Yeah.
Plentiful harvest. It's CSC of Sierra Vista.
Oh.
Wait, so that's here. So
Yeah.
that's down Sierra Vista's down towards Tucson, right?
Yep, sure is.
That's a big move.
Yeah.
From Michigan to here.
That is a big move. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, when you guys get closer, definitely gonna have to reach out, and maybe we can kind of help you guys through that first season or two, because it's gonna be drastically different from Michigan.
Yeah.
Opposite in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of things you can grow here that you can't grow in Michigan. So there we go.
Yeah. Daryl, any idea when the Paragraphics documentary is coming out?
Oh, I don't know. So I haven't heard from those guys, so I'm really not too sure. I know that they had a couple things kind of in the hopper that they're working on, and then they're professionals, so they spend a lot of time. I mean, they shot more footage in that day than I think we typically shoot in several weeks, and we go through a lot of footage.
Well, they were here from 6 in the morning till like almost 3 in the afternoon.
Yep, and they were filming pretty much the whole time.
The whole time. I
mean, they filmed B-roll while we were just kind of wandering around, and for couple hours. So I'm not sure. I don't know when that'll come out. I'm sure they'll let us know. So when we do, we'll make sure we'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Check out their channel. They've got some pretty cool stuff.
Really cool videos.
Everything on there, I think, is all Arizona. So
yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
All right, Jeff, update on grafted pluot, rebounding with strong new growth. Have noticed a crack forming vertically up the trunk. Do you recommend using wood glue to try and address?
Oh boy, that is going to be tough. So if it's in you said the trunk, so if it's in the rootstock, I don't know that there's anything you're going to be able to do. If it's in the scion, if you wanted to try to either wrap it or use some type of adhesive, it's worth trying. We've had one tree, well, two technically. We've had 2 trees crack in the trunk. The first one was actually the Shangri-La Mulberry on the old farm. So you guys have probably watched that video, and it kind of created a Y. It started to split in the middle. Now this is a mulberry tree that grows very, very aggressively. So all I did was basically just I put 2 stakes on either side, and then I took, excuse me, I took a hose, basically a wire and a hose, wrapped it around both sides, so it basically grabbed it like this, and essentially held it together. And I did that for 1 season. By the time I was done, that mulberry had basically grown over and healed. So that's an option as well. But you know, a pluot tree does not grow near as aggressive as a mulberry tree. So that's gonna be tough, I think. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think it just depends on, you know, where
it's at.
Yeah, how far down it is. If it's higher up, maybe you can.
Yeah, and you may.
Depending on how old the tree is, you might cut
and this goes back to this. Eric and I were talking this morning about his pear tree and the struggles in trying to prune that now. We've pretty much abandoned spring pruning because of that summer kind of dearth that we have where the trees just stop growing. I would say prune it back so that it doesn't have as much weight at the top, so it's not putting as much pressure on the trunk, and then of course staking it to make sure it's not moving much in the wind. That's just going to be touchy. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Sam, what are the signs of overwatering? I'm in Santan Valley and have AZ clay soil. I'm mulching to help improve soil, but still not draining well. Leaves are curling and turning yellow. Help. Okay,
so if they're curling and turning yellow, that usually is a sign of overwatering. That is the tell signs of overwatering. That's going to be really tough. So I think what you're going to need to do, and mulch, what kind of mulch? You got wood chip mulch down?
It says I'm mulching to help improve soil.
Okay, so I think a couple things that you're going to need to do. First thing is make sure that the mulch layer is really, really heavy. So you're going to need to have at least a foot or so of mulch, especially if you're having a problem with the soil itself draining. And then obviously if you can drill holes down into the soil, you want to do that to help kind of penetrate the soil a little bit better. Make sure your ring is really, really wide. So our rings are about 10 feet or so across in diameter. So you want to make sure that ring is extremely wide. Now, if it's a younger tree, you're going to need to still keep some moisture up towards the root ball, but it will continue to grow out. So I would drill holes, make sure the mulch is very, very heavy, so you're going to need to dig down deeper, and make sure that ring is really, really wide. Because if you're seeing that, you may actually be overwatering, which
How often are you watering?
So, oh yeah, are you asking? You're gonna. Oh yeah. So so how often are you watering?
All right, Cecilia, we ended up ordering mead from Superstition
Cool.
Meadery in Prescott after watching the Paragraphics video on them. LOL, super tasty and recommended.
Oh, I know they were bragging about how good that mead was.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous.
We want to go to the place they went to.
We do. Yeah, they were. I'll tell you what, the Paragraphic guys were raving about that mead. And they tried a lot of our wine. We actually had a pretty extensive wine tasting while we were here.
We did have a wine tasting with the Paragraphics guys.
Yeah, we tapped into some wine that we hadn't tried yet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Made. So.
Eric, if you could choose just one fruit tree to grow, which one would you choose?
Mulberry. Can I answer in just one word?
Sure. Mulberries.
I would, mulberry without question. We're going to talk about it in the vlog today, but we've been harvesting off those 3 everbearing mulberry trees, which are small. And we have just over 12 pounds. It's just those berries, they're tiny. We have just over 12 pounds from those small trees that we've harvested so far in the last 2 weeks. And we probably have several more pounds to go. And I mean, they're easy to grow, they're easy to maintain, they're easy to propagate.
Grow fast.
They grow very quickly. They need absolutely no protection whatsoever. They can be kept in a pot. You can keep them in the ground. You can grow them like a tree. You can grow them like a bush. You can compost them. You can pollard them. They're great livestock fodder. I'm sure I forgot something because they're great.
Yeah, very cool. The Shangri-Las are fantastic.
Yeah, the Shangri-Las are amazing. The Everbearing is nice because it's so flexible as far as what you can do. We posted a video last week, and we've had folks all over the country commenting on how easy it is to grow mulberries. People commenting from Michigan to Oregon to Florida. Obviously, we're here in Arizona, so all four corners. Somebody from Oklahoma, so right in the middle of the country. Everybody growing mulberries. Even some of them saying, you know, the thing is invasive. It grows like a weed. So yeah, I'm a big mulberry fan.
Desert Blacksmith, howdy folks.
Dan, how's it going, Dan? Good to see you.
Sand, yes. Wood chip mulch.
Okay, good. Yeah.
For the overwatering.
Overwatering, yeah, and
then it's every 3 days.
Every 3 days. Okay, so definitely spread that out, especially if you're seeing signs like that. Don't water more than once a week. If it's draining really slow like that, you could probably go to once every 2 weeks. We're gonna eventually go to once every 2 weeks once the trees are a little more established. But definitely you don't need to water more than once a week. So, and then you may need to actually get a moisture thermometer to make sure that your moisture levels are low before you water each time. I think that'll be worth the investment if you're seeing what you're seeing.
And then Jeff, thanks for feedback. We'll check out how close to rootstock and try wrapping. And then Alan, no hesitation. I don't know what that was from. I'm not sure. And then Ferry Driver. Did you have success after filling in cinder blocks with more gravel? Seems to me vermin would still be able to dig underneath into the bed.
Right, so the way we have the bed set up, yes, we did finish the ABC today, finally. That's why I'm exhausted. But we did finish up the ABC. So basically how that works with our beds is we have 2 cinder blocks high around the entire bed, and then we have a layer of hardware cloth that's underneath that. It keeps anything from burrowing inside, so inside the bed itself. However, what we did is we didn't fill in the cinder blocks. So what was happening is we were actually getting rats, is actually what we had happening. Rats were actually able to get up in through the 2 cinder blocks and get up inside the bed. So that was the only issue that we had. We don't have anything tunneling underneath because it can't. So the ABC, we tamp the ABC into those cinder blocks. At that point, it completely seals off the cinder blocks all the way through the bed. So with that, and then the bird netting and the hardware cloth on the ends, that'll essentially keep everything out of there. So the only thing it wouldn't do is it wouldn't keep a jackrabbit that wants to try to eat through the netting, but we haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah.
If we do have that happen, we'll go back and add hardware cloth to the sides, but we haven't had that be an issue yet.
Yeah, but that hardware cloth at the bottom of the bed is helping.
Correct.
Digging up in there.
Yeah, so they can't get in through that hardware cloth on the base.
Do you have any plans, this is Dan, do you have any plans of wanting to grow barley fodder for the animals? I have an idea to try it for pigs, chickens and ducks.
Yeah, I think barley's fantastic. The only thing we haven't been able to do is find an inexpensive source of seed. And I didn't want to order that online because I want to get a 50-pound bag or 2 of barley. We've grown barley in the past. It grows very, very well. It grows during several times of the year, and I definitely want to add barley. I think it's a fantastic idea. I think as far as fodder is concerned, you have a couple things. If you have grazing animals, then they're going to obviously be able to graze on that. Chickens will eat it if it's in pasture, as long as it's not too tall, because they don't like really, really tall grass. And then of course, once the heads form, you have a lot of things that can eat that head. Pigs can eat it, goats can eat it, sheep can eat it, chickens can eat it, cattle will eat it. Although you want to watch it with the cattle, we don't want too much of the grain going in there. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea.
And then Alan, the no hesitation was on the mulberry answer. answer.
Oh, yeah, no. No, and Alan
The fruit tree.
would know, because he's in Florida, and you can attest to it, Alan. You guys can grow, literally those ever-bearing mulberries, from what I understand, are truly ever-bearing in Florida, like pretty much all the time.
All right, then we have BB. I'm so growing mulberry trees when I moved to Arizona.
Yeah, you have to.
Yep. Sam, can you use compost fertilizer with worm castings and granular fertilizer together?
Yes, you can definitely do that. So if you're going to be using the composted fertilizer or manure, any of those organic and natural methods, and you're going to add on top of that, I would do an organic granular fertilizer at that point. And me personally, I wouldn't use a conventional fertilizer, because the compost is going to help to create soil biology and soil life and grow actual soil. And a lot of studies, and my understanding is, the synthetic fertilizers can damage that because of the high nitrogen content. So we use it temporarily. So when we first are establishing a tree, and as you guys know, here in Arizona, we do not have soil, we have dirt. So while we're creating soil in those initial few months where the tree's in the ground, we'll use a conventional fertilizer to really kickstart the growth of the tree, but then we back off of that and go with a natural one. So while you can use all those things, you probably don't need to. So, and here's the thing. So when you're looking at, if you've got a lot of wood chip mulch around the tree, and you're using a natural organic compost or something like that, you have things in there, you're gonna find that worms will find you. And so worms and worm castings, they're gold for us. So we want to encourage that worm activity around the tree, and as long as they have something to eat, they're going to continuously fertilize and feed your trees. So you want to feed them at that point so that they're kicking out that fertilizer, and you have this just amazing, incredible web of nutrition that's around your tree year round, because the worms love it in our winter times underneath that wood chip mulch, as long as they're staying moist. So you can, I just don't know that I necessarily would go that far. You probably wouldn't need to if you're using like a compost or natural fertilizer.
Fairy Driver, thank you so much. Have a mulberry tree farm in Joshua Tree.
Ooh.
And then you guys rock.
Awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
BB, I'm loving this chat. Everyone has something going on. Isn't that true?
Oh, that is so true. That is so true. We need to not have something going on one of these days.
One of these days. But we love to hear, what everybody's got going on. And we love the videos.
Oh, I'll tell you what. We love seeing your guys' videos. We've had several of you guys. Check out the viewer bid section. It's cool to see what you guys are doing out there. And, you guys get to see us doing stuff. We love seeing you guys do it. And it's one of our favorite things.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. Plentiful Harvest Homestead. Have you ever considered purslane?
Purslane.
For your ground cover areas. It
Yes.
goes anywhere theoretically, and is nutritious for people and animals.
Agreed. And purslane is something I definitely want to do, especially for livestock and livestock fodder. So definitely a ground cover, and then also livestock fodder. I'm curious to see how it does during the summertime and what we'll need to do to get it through that. But definitely the omega-3 content, if nothing else, from purslane makes me a fan. So that's a fantastic question and a fantastic suggestion. And I think once we get back into that livestock area, purslane is going to definitely be something we try. We're trying just about everything at this point, because we need to find out what's going to do well at what times in the season, because a lot of that information just isn't out there for us here in the Arizona area, particularly around Phoenix, because it's a little unique here than in some of the other areas.
Juan, how are the figs coming on with fruit?
Actually, that's a great question.
We haven't had time to go look at them.
I don't know. We were back there last week. I know the Violet de Bordeaux actually is doing really well. It's got a couple figlets on there. I know I saw figlets on the Cadota, which is not uncommon, and the brown turkey had figlets on it. Actually, we saw them on the Olympia, had figlets on it as well. Mm-hmm. So there is some. Didn't see any on the Mission Fig. Mm-hmm. Maybe need to look a little bit harder on that one.
Yeah.
So starting to see some, and if I see them getting too close to trying to ripen, I'm gonna pull them off. I don't want those trees trying to fruit. So we need them to establish.
All right, Sam, I would like to plant a mulberry tree, but the location is a few feet from my home foundation. I heard mulberry roots are invasive.
Yes, so mulberry, especially your traditional full-size mulberry trees, if you're going to be planting a mulberry tree close to your house, first of all, I probably wouldn't do it. However, if you're going to, get a dwarf variety or the Illinois everbearing, something that's smaller. Those trees are smaller trees, hence, and you're going to have smaller roots, so you'll have a better chance of it not doing any damage to the house foundation. I've heard some horror stories with figs and mulberries when it comes to damage to foundations from the root systems, so I don't know that I would put it close to the house.
All right, Desert Blacksmith, I am having better luck with my figs in self-watering buckets than in the ground. I pulled 2 of the 3 back into buckets. They were dying. I was doing something wrong.
So obviously must be something in the soil, and Dan's up further north. So yeah, you know what, Dan, I'm not sure. It's obviously there's something in the soil that they're struggling with, because that's very uncommon for a fig. So we have yet to have a fig do better in a pot than in the ground, but you know, we're in a slightly different climate from you. So it could be, it must be something in the soil.
Yeah. I think we're caught up on this.
Oh, good deal. So so I think, I don't know, we're probably getting there anyway.
It's 3:40.
Oh, pretty close. Good deal. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. We're going to wrap up here in the next 5-10 minutes or so. So had a couple of questions, one question mainly for you guys. So we had a few people suggest doing a podcast. We're recording this. That's one of the reasons that we're inside, besides the fact that it's so hot outside. But we want to make sure that we're giving you guys the content that you guys want. And I think a podcast is a good idea because we can do Q&As like this where you guys are asking questions live. We can answer those questions. I think we'll also bring some questions that we get from viewer comments.
Yeah.
Because you guys, I'll tell you what, we learn so much from your guys' questions, because if I don't know the answer, I need to research it, which is a good thing. If I do know the answer but hadn't considered it, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
It makes me look back and go either reconsider or consider something I hadn't prior to that. So, you know, having these conversations is good for us as well. We learn so much from you guys. But we are considering putting this together in a podcast format, and maybe doing it a little more often, so that we have like that Q&A and that something you can listen to while you're gardening. Obviously, be nice.
All right,
But
so
we may do that as well.
here. So one, it's a good day, Roy. For your broiler chickens, do they stay in the mobile coops until being processed, or do they get free range pasture time at some point? Are you ever planning on hatching your own chicks?
Okay, very good question. So the broiler chickens that we're using, the Cornish cross broiler chicken, we need to do a video where we show you what happens when you try to let them free range. They are not.
Do much.
They don't. They just don't free range. They want to be in the feeder. Basically, if they could, they're like pigs. They want to just get inside the feed and smear it all over themselves. So and they are constantly feeding. So they won't go far from the feeder. It's just the breed. They just don't do much. Now, some are more mobile than others, but generally they don't wander too much, which is why we keep them in there. Now, we are not 100% set that we'll continue doing that breed, because we have other things we want to do with chickens here on the farm, because we want to increase the fertility on the farm, and livestock is key and essential for us. So I think we will try some additional breeds. And to answer the other question, yes, I would like to do some breeding ourselves, because I think we may be able to find a breed that does well here in Arizona and also can give us a meat yield, because we want to do both. And we want to make sure that we are regenerative in everything that we do. So, and that would be the way to do it. Fantastic question and a great suggestion at the same time.
All right, Dan, I tried amending like you do, but we'll try again for those figs.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's something in the soil if they're not doing well.
Yeah. Rod, is that Sun City West, SCW?
That's Sun City West.
I have heard good things about the Arizona worm farm. Have you tried them?
So we have not gone to the Arizona worm farm. So actually we watched the video that Paragraphic did on them. So that's a cool one. Another plug for Paragraphic. but we have not. So we probably do need to make a trip down there. Now we've got a lot of worm activity here on the farm, and we really encourage that as best we can here. And one of the things we haven't talked a lot about is we are trying to do everything we can to be regenerative and self-sustainable here on the farm. So right from the very beginning, we're trying to create as much, if not all, of the fertility that we can here on the farm with livestock and mulch and the things that we do. So I don't intend on bringing a lot of external inputs specifically when it comes to fertility. We'll bring in feed because we get multiple yields from, say, a chicken, but I don't plan on bringing in a lot of fertility going forward because we're gonna create that here on the farm. So, although I think we'd probably do need to make a trip out there.
Yeah, just to go one of these days. Sam, what's the latest time for planting trees in Phoenix?
Okay, we're definitely past it. So we're in May. You wouldn't want to plant a tree at this point. You can. So it'll probably, if you plant a citrus tree right now, it's probably going to be okay, but I wouldn't do it. So as far as latest time, we've planted into April. We did last year because we didn't have a choice, and we lucked out because we did not get real hot until July, which you guys know is unusual. Normally we're in the hundreds in May, and it's real dry, and June is just, you guys know, June's when we get our 120 plus degree days with no humidity, and that just kills things, especially trees. So it's just pushing it once you get into April and beyond.
Eric, great job once again. Edge of Nowhere, you two are the best.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
You are as well.
Cecilia, hey, do you guys have Edge of Nowhere Farm or Edge of Nowhere merch anywhere? Would love to buy a t-shirt.
Oh.
You don't.
No, we don't. I'm not sure anybody's ever asked us that before.
No, we had shirts made for us and sweatshirts made for us, but that was just friends of ours that has a company that does that, and we just had them make our own.
Yeah, no, we haven't done that before. So I guess you guys just have to let us know if that's something that you want. I guess we never considered it. Isn't that funny? A lot of people do that, and we just didn't think about it.
Yeah. Sam, I have a pear tree that I just purchased. It's in a 15-gallon pot. I'm thinking to keep it in the pot until fall before I plant it. How often should I water in the pot?
Okay, so if you're gonna, how big's the pot?
15 gallons.
15. Okay, so it's pretty small. It depends. I guess it's going to depend on how much growth you get. With anything in a pot here in Arizona, I try to give it midday and beyond shade during the summertime, if you can. Especially in a smaller pot like that, it really needs shade. So mottled underneath a big tree, so you got a big mesquite or palo verde or something like that, I would keep that potted tree underneath the tree all the time. Water it daily during the summertime. It's going to need it every single day. It's too hot and dry in a 15-gallon pot otherwise, but it definitely needs shade. And you do those things, you'll be just fine. We had several trees go through summer prior to last, and they did fine, but they were underneath the big mulberry tree on the old property the entire time. So.
All right, Roy, love your videos. Grew up watching Victory Garden on PBS. There is no good gardening content like this on streaming TV right now. Keep up the great work.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Glad you enjoy it.
Juan, have you guys been to Green Life by Sheamus O'Leary's nursery?
So we haven't been to his new one. We went to, when he moved to Glendale.
Yeah, when he was at his house in
Yep.
Glendale.
When it was at his house in Glendale, we were there a couple times. And the old farm, we tried a couple tropicals and they all failed. So we, as you guys know, we were trying a couple of tropicals here, but for the most part, we don't do tropicals. That's really his thing, and it's just not ours. So now we probably should still go down there. Anyway, I'm sure we'd find something that we still want to try.
Yeah.
But he's the man when it comes to tropicals. I mean, you guys in Phoenix, you're doing well with tropicals. You know, someday we may try them more extensively here, but for now, because we don't have them in the ground, we haven't gone to see Sheamus in his new spot, which I guess is not all that new now.
Yeah, no,
So.
it's not. He's been there for a while now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am SC Pam. I am so happy I ran across this.
Oh, hey.
Thank you for joining us. And then we have Love the Wine Rack.
Yeah, that's our backup rack.
And then John would love to buy a t-shirt.
Okay,
Eric, I'd buy a shirt too. Definitely something to consider doing.
I did not consider that.
Ferry driver we want. Any plans on giving us a in-person tour of the farm?
Absolutely. So, yes.
It's been on our list to do.
It's on our to-do list. That's just really long. We definitely are going to do that. So we got a lot of things that we want to do. We're really trying to get as much infrastructure in place as we can and have things here for people to see and do. You know, obviously trees are growing now. They look great, and there's livestock that are only going to be here for another week. So I think in those cooler months, like fall through spring, when we have all the livestock here, I think we definitely will want to do that. And I think, and Lori and I have talked a little bit about doing like some farm stays and things like that. We just need to get the infrastructure in place for that, because we've had some folks actually in different countries say they wanted to come out, visit the farm, and stay for a few days. So I think we definitely will do that, and we'll definitely have tours. I would love to meet you guys. You know, we've got a few of you guys that are customers of ours that we're going to be seeing here over the next couple of weeks as we do pork deliveries. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Yes is the answer. And also, I think at some point in time, I want to go out and start seeing some of your guys' stuff.
Yeah,
you guys
we're
get to see us.
We're gonna do some day trips.
We gotta go on a tour and see you guys. So.
All right, so let me see where I was. Sorry, I lost my place. Any trick to get mulberries fruit? That's from Pam, and Pam, she said tank top for her. No t-shirts. I like tank tops too.
Yes, yeah.
Love tank tops.
Lori's a tank top fan. I'm too skinny for a tank top.
Yeah. I'm not sure that any trick to get mulberries fruit.
Oh,
I'm not sure what the question like.
Oh, maybe to buy it. I'm not sure. So maybe you have to ask the question.
Is that to get your tree to fruit, or to get like somewhere to find fruit?
I mean, eventually we will sell fruit. We just don't have the ability yet. There's not enough production yet.
Plentiful Harvest will join the T-shirt club too.
that's
we
cool.
Cecilia, we definitely come down from Vegas for a chance at an in-person tour.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, we talked about, we really wanted to do it this spring, but we just had so much going on, and now we're just getting too hot. But this fall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I think.
Maybe. We will.
We gotta get that livestock acre up and running.
Okay. Does mulch or any other organic matter such as compost attract snakes or scorpions? Oh
yeah.
Goodness, there's all kinds coming down.
Yes, both. So mulch is you're gonna have. Okay, take a step back. You're in Arizona. You've got scorpions. You probably just don't see them. They're there. And yes, they will be in and around that. Now, they generally are not in them when they're wet. So if you're in your irrigation, I have yet to pull back mulch from my irrigation rings and find a scorpion. I haven't had that happen yet in the 7 years we've been doing it. So, but you will find scorpions around your wood chip piles, around your trees, and around your yard. Now, is it that the wood chip mulch is attracting it? Maybe, but I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that you're outside. I mean, you know,
it's
you're out.
Desert.
It's the desert. You're outside. You're going to see them because they're there. They're there.
Let's see. Pam, I would be thrilled to have you come to my house.
Definitely. There's a few out there I got to see.
Okay, and she said to fruit, question mark. So any trick to get mulberries to fruit?
Oh, to get them to fruit.
Well, they should be fruiting unless it's a male.
Yeah, if it's a male mulberry, it won't. So you'll get the catkins that will develop, but they'll never actually turn into fruit. They'll develop and then they'll fall. Also, if it's a new tree. So we had lavender mulberry on the old farm that was 2 years old, either 2 or 3 years old. It never fruited. So you could either be a male, which is possible, probably not, but possible, or it may just not be old enough yet to do it. Eventually we've always had the trees fruit. So.
Armando, when will the fig wine be up for sale?
Well, we can't sell it. So I don't think we want to go down and jump through the legal hoops to sell it. But let's just say when we have visitors on the farm, if you're over 21, and some of it happens to be on the table and in a shot glass and winds up in your mouth, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Shot glass. I'm wondering, Pam.
What, like a mug?
Well, a wine glass. Pam, I'm wondering why my mulberry is growing great but not fruiting.
Yeah, It could just be a matter of being too young. So, I mean, the tree has to be old enough for it to be able to set and hold the fruit. And I've had one tree so far that lavender mulberry never did. So if it's one of your general varieties, Shangri-La, Pakistan, Persian, Everbearing, if it's one of those four, we've had those trees always produce after 2 to 3 years. So if it's younger than that, that could be it. Make sure that you're watering. If you're not seeing any fruit start to develop, that's when I would really wonder about the tree itself. If it's developing or starting to develop, but then it drops, that's definitely stress on the tree. So that could be a lot of different things that could be stressing the tree. Or it's just not old enough. So it's saying, I am not big enough and mature enough to hang on to this fruit, so it's dropping it. So I guess that would be another question back.
Yep. Can you please give Lori a hug?
Aww.
I actually need a huge margarita.
Oh, yeah, we'll give her.
Yeah, huge margarita. Is your whole farm 6 acres or just the developed part?
So yeah, the whole farm is 6 acres. We have, I'm gonna turn this way. So hopefully you guys can see it. So we have a 5 acre, so if you consider this down here being north, this is south. You guys always see us with this mountain range back here. You may not be able to hear me. So we have a 5 acre rectangle like this, and then over here there's a 1 acre, so think of it like an L, upside down. We have a 1 acre parcel right here. That's that livestock acre that we talk about, but it's all connected. So when we bought the land, it was a much larger parcel, and we couldn't afford the larger parcel, but nobody out here, believe it or not, 3 years ago was buying land. So he actually carved out this 6 acres for us, right at the highest point and flattest point of the land that he owned. So that's why it wound up being an L. And then we always had the livestock kind of designated for that corner, especially pigs, because they can smell ripe.
So to answer your question, the whole property is 6 acres, but we are developing on the trees and everything is on about 2.5 to 3 acres.
What she said.
Yeah. TR, where is a good place to purchase mulberry bush in Arizona?
Right now, I don't know that you will. I don't know whether Sheamus, somebody asked Sheamus earlier. Sheamus is who we actually bought the Shangri-La from several years ago.
Oh boy, they're coming.
So it's worth checking with him to see if he has them. I don't know if he does. Richard's Garden Center, we actually picked up another, I think the Everbearing came from Richard's Garden Center. They're in North Phoenix. They're worth trying. I don't know who else. This year, fruit trees are hard to come by.
Yeah.
A lot of things are. You know, there's shortages all over the place, and fruit trees is one of them. So I'm not sure. Eventually, we will probably have mulberries and figs for sale. You guys keep asking us that. We have people that have asked us to buy trees, and we don't sell trees. At least we haven't yet. And those two, because I don't think we would be competing with anybody specific with those. And I know we can do it very inexpensively, so we can share that with everybody. But we are a farm, and it is a farm business, so we're gonna head down that road with mulberries and figs. But we're still a couple years away.
All right, BB, I'm from New York City, and I'm so glad I found your channel. I bought land in North Arizona and found you guys to the soil content, etc. I was able to plan better watching and learning from you both.
Very cool. I'll tell you what, talk about the right move to go from New York to Arizona. Love it. I'm from Los Angeles, would never go back, ever, for any reason, except maybe Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. But great choice, getting out of New York and coming out to Arizona for a lot of reasons. You're just gonna have some unique challenges, as you're seeing here for us. So, but I'll tell you what, you can do it. So,
all right.
Glad you're making that move.
GM, first time catching a live Q&A. It's near midnight here.
Aye.
Yeah, Pam, Pakistan. It has been in the ground for a year. I guess more time is needed.
Yeah, just give it some time. That Pakistan will fruit for you. Just give it a couple years.
Yeah, Ed VV, should I be alarmed that the peach tree that I planted back in October is already fruiting? When a fruit tree fruit really young, should I be alarmed?
Alarmed? No. That's perfectly normal and a very, very good sign. However, you definitely want to take the peaches off that tree. So that tree, especially if you planted it in the fall, that tree needs to be able to develop a strong enough root system to support the tree this summer. And you want a massive canopy, the biggest canopy you can get, because green in the leaves is what is chlorophyll and all that good stuff that goes down into the roots and pushes that root growth out for that tree. And long term, you want to remove that fruit so that you will have a long life, a long-lived tree that gives you an abundant harvest. So great sign that you're seeing it, but take those guys off. Be careful, don't break branches, but definitely remove the fruit off the tree. Don't even save one. This one tries to do that all the time.
It's so sad taking the fruit off.
Yes.
I know, you have to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
do you have a tip to keep grass from hay that was placed in a raised bed from growing? It was not supposed to seed according to the package.
Okay, so hay. So is there a tip to keep hay from seeding in a garden bed? Am I understanding that correctly?
Do you have a tip to keep grass from hay that was placed in a raised bed from growing?
Okay, so there were seeds inside the hay. That's typical. So you're gonna have seeds in there. There's really not a way to get around that. Now the hay is alfalfa. You said hay, I'm assuming it's hay, not straw. Is alfalfa. So alfalfa will self-kill if it's not given an ideal environment, especially once we get into some of the hotter months and the cold. So if it's hay, the good thing about hay is it actually is a nitrogen fixer. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if it's actual alfalfa that's coming up in your garden beds. So for me, I would look at that more as just a good cover crop for a bed like that. However, there's not a way that I know of to stop a seed that's in the ground in ideal conditions from sprouting. It's just going to. The fact that you're seeing it sprout is probably a good thing because you've got some soil fertility. As far as stopping that, I don't know of a way to do it, with the exception of you could actually use plastic sheeting to kill everything. So you can do that. We don't typically do that here, but you definitely can. So a black plastic over the top of that will kill those seeds, especially here in the summertime. It kills pretty much everything, but remember, that's everything. So it's also killing any soil biology, soil life that's down in there potentially, particularly earthworms and things like that. So plucking those bad boys out might be your best bet.
Okay, so we have a lot to get through here.
Oh goodness, and we're an hour in.
Yep, so Tony just stopping in to say hi. I think I'll be leaving my mulberry cuttings, which are in full leaf, in the pot where I started them. See what happens next season.
That's a fantastic idea. Keep them in that pot. That's good to hear. Oh wait, is that Tony from Cali?
Tony Owen.
Yeah, Tony, what's up, man?
And then as far as talking about the land, sweet ferry driver, having a 25-foot male mulberry helps with getting your mulberries to fruit.
Yes, the male will do it because you're pollinating the female. Yep.
GM, is the farm progressing as you thought it would when you moved in?
Yes, I would say we're right on track.
Yeah.
So we don't need to get into the struggles with the builder, which were extensive. But now that we're on it, yes. In fact, we're not quite through our initial planning that we had for the farm. The livestock acre would be kind of our final thing that we need to complete. That was in kind of our initial plans, and then we're going to be kind of not winging it, but we're going to be kind of progressing from there. So that livestock acre would be kind of our last thing. If we can get that done by fall, we're golden, because that's 2 years being on the property and a year and a half starting. So, and we got all the trees in the ground in 1 year, shy of a handful. So that was a big deal for us.
Yeah. Sam, I have 2 Oliver loquats that I planted in March. I have them under shade. Any idea on how they will do compared to other varieties?
I don't know is the honest answer to that one. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that exact variety. My experience with loquats is limited here in Arizona, but it did well. So we have the Yehuda loquat on the old farm, but we did plant it in October, just like these guys. So now you guys know we do not do any type of shade protection or anything like that on the trees. In this case, because you planted it in March, I would make sure that it has some shade protection as we move into the summer months. We're supposed to be up above 100 degrees here. We all know we will be shortly, if not now. So especially once we get into June, I would definitely give that some shade. Make sure it's not in shade all the time, but you need shade by mid-morning. So by 10 in the morning, that bad boy is going to need some shade. Just to be safe is what I would do.
Armando, what about selling scion wood cuttings in the future?
Yeah, we may do that. Yeah, we may do that. I know a lot of people have asked that as well. You know, the biggest thing for us is we have to be careful how many different enterprises we take on the farm. We're learning that ourselves, meaning, you know, what we're going to sell and as part of the business. So I don't know for sure.
People say they're having a hard time hearing.
Oh, maybe it's.
Hearing.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Well, we're going to keep trying to go and see.
Let's see to make sure I'm not in the picture. All right. Is that better? Hopefully. That's a little bit closer to us.
Do you guys worry about the need to shade anything during the harsh summers?
No. So we don't shade anything. Now, there's a couple things that probably need it. The tropical guavas that we have, the loquats probably wouldn't be hurt by that, but we don't shade anything else. And that's really because we don't have the ability or time to do it. And the varieties that we plant are designed to be in full sun and thrive in the full sun. Remember, when you shade a tree, you are inhibiting its growth by design. So we want the trees to grow as strong as they can. And as long as you're mulching nice and heavy and you're watering them well, not overwatering and not underwatering for sure, those trees are designed to be in full sun, the ones that we grow here. So your stone fruit, your citrus, your mulberries, the blackberries that we grow, they need full sun, and we do not shade them.
All right, Ed, thank you. You two are awesome. Pam, yes. BB, thank you so much for well wishes. I am open to the hard work and manual labor, but I want it to pay off for my children, grands, and generations to come.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
New York City teaches people to depend on government, not self.
Preach it.
Preach it. True. Pam, it is my daughter, but I think it is straw.
Okay.
Stars and beds.
Yeah.
Straw.
You'll definitely be able to tell. Alfalfa looks as lobes. It looks kind of like a moringa. I'm not going to say, it doesn't look like a moringa leaf, but it's kind of like that. It's got small lobes on it. Straw looks like or barley or wheat that's in straw looks like a straight up piece of tall grass. So it's definitely, you can tell. So if you have straw in there, you're going to have seeds. You shouldn't have too many though. I imagine maybe a few dozen, maybe 20, 30, 40 of them. So you just pluck them out. You can cut them as well. So you can use those as a chop and drop kind of scenario. You can just cut them off at soil level, and at some point in time, it'll die back enough and then leave those roots in the ground. It's actually a benefit to have those roots in the ground.
All right, Jesus for Jen.
Hey Jen, what's up? You made it. How's it going, Jen? Man, Jen's like from the beginning.
Yeah. Hi, Jen.
How's it going, Jen?
All right. She said you are so smart. GM, thanks. Glad you are on track. Looking forward to seeing the plants mature over the years, and hopefully groundwater improves with cover.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Sorry. Yes, Lori needs a big hug. Daryl, loud and clear. Sam, any experience on planting guava trees? Do they do good in the summer in Arizona? I planted a Mexican cream. Should I be shading it?
Okay, yes. We're not going to shade ours, but excuse me. We're not going to shade ours, but it may not be a bad idea to give it afternoon shade. So afternoon shade for us is 10 or 11 in the morning through the afternoon. We're not going to shade ours, so you guys will get a good idea of how they do with zero protection during the summertime. But it may not be a bad idea. A lot of folks will do that. I think it's a good idea. I don't know that exact variety, but if it's like the white guava that we have here that has the larger leaves, like maybe 3 to 4 inches long and 2 inches wide or so, those large leaves tend to really struggle when it gets real hot and dry. So you may need to. Heavy mulch though, so make sure you're doing nice and heavy mulch and you're keeping soil moisture consistent.
Okay, I'm getting that the sound is better, volume is better, sound is fine for me. Only issue is the room echo. So now we're echoing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then, did you say how you learned so much?
Here, let's do this. Is there a sound? Is that volume? That's why. You can get that. There we go. Hopefully that didn't. The echo's gone. So.
Did you say how you learned so much?
Oh, yeah. So, oh goodness. So I have this issue where when I want to know something, I do everything that I can to learn everything about it possible. So we started growing fruit trees in the mid-aughts, so 2005, 6, and then we started growing heavily in 2012. So it's been almost 10 years, and I literally try to devour anything that I possibly can on a topic when I'm interested. It's a weird glitch I've got in my head, I guess. And so I just love the idea of co-creating life is the way I look at it. And you know, that's it's life. Truly, it's life. And you know, it's a passion for me. So it's a matter of watching videos, reading online content, following blogs. When we had time, we would watch YouTube videos. That was the challenge that we had. Is we had a couple. You guys know Jake Mace, so we were growing our fruit trees when he was growing his and doing his channel. We were doing it at the same time. So that was cool for fruit trees. But we needed to do more. So we wanted to do livestock and stuff. So we would branch out and start watching other channels, and I would read other content. And the challenge that we're facing here, of course, is that it's drastically different in this desert environment than it is just about anywhere else. And you know, we're not dealing with a very small space. We're dealing with 5-6 acres. So we've got a lot more open space, and we wanted that. So yeah, you name it. As far as being able to get that content, I try to get it from any source I possibly can.
All right, and then sounds like the sound's better, no issues. Pam, are you recording this?
Oh yeah, we are. So if the sound's really bad, I guess it's not going to do much good.
All right, Mass Free Society, hey now, and then Roy, thanks for the Q&A. You guys rock.
Awesome.
And Jen, wow, probably on your learning and your knowledge.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Sometimes I don't sleep well because my mind just keeps going. I can't shut my mind down.
And the thing is that it doesn't leave his mind. So when he knows something, it stays there. So all of a sudden, like randomly, he'll say something that was from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, that may sound cool and all, but when you don't want to be thinking about something and you just want to chill out and it's still going, it sucks.
Yeah.
So I always tell Lori, she's the opposite. She'll forget something like tomorrow that happened today, and she gets frustrated. I'm like, you have no idea what a blessing that is, sweetheart. At least under certain circumstances.
Yep. Juan, you guys deserve a drink. Margarita, hee for sharing this time with us. Thank you. We have our drink, but we haven't been drinking it.
I have.
Okay, Pam, so you know what makes your video so great is so different, and so different is going into such detail with planting and letting us see your progress and those things that fail.
Yeah. Yep. And we do get a lot of failures. So,
yep.
You know, we figure if nothing else, we're learning ourselves, and we can go back to our own content. We do it all the time to see, hey, what did we do here before? You know, or especially if it didn't work, to try to do something different. So I'm glad to hear that. We're learning a lot. We figure the best thing we could do is share that with everybody, and this is the best way for us to do it.
Yeah. Sam, thanks guys, you're awesome.
Thanks,
GM,
Sam.
I am amazed you aren't too tired to switch off at night. I get that sometimes to alert to sleep. Best not be researching or on PC for 1 hour before bed.
I agree. Yeah, we've gotten to the point now we don't watch TV anyway, but on the weekends we'll watch some YouTube, try to catch up with you guys and that kind of thing. But we read a book. We got to the point now where it's book time. Yeah. So, and melatonin's great, but so we should probably wrap up here pretty soon. I think we've gone really long.
I think we're caught up here.
Yeah. All right, good deal. So just want to thank you guys. I think we're going to try to do this format. We'll hopefully figure out the sound and everything. Thank you for helping out with that. Glad you guys were all here. You know, if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know, leave those in the comment section down below. And we talked a lot recently about sharing the content. You know, you guys know who might benefit most from this. And I'll tell you what, one of the reasons why I really encourage everybody to do that is because when we get people that we find us for the first time, they start asking us questions, and sometimes those questions make us rethink certain things because they don't know the rest of the things that we've done. And so, we rethink or we may question something that we're doing, and it's actually helped us. So, and then of course, just, as many people as we can get doing what we're doing, in the end, that's the whole point of this. So.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
What happened?
No, people saying goodbye, thanks so much. Thank people. GM says the guy watching live stream at midnight. So
yeah.
He's
That's probably,
he's not here.
Thanks for being here, though.
And Juan says, I see you guys started on the wine rack. Some bottles missing.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna get going. Really appreciate having you guys here tonight. It's been really cool. And hopefully this format's going to work well. We'll have to do this at least here for the next few months. And let us know if you think we need to do this more often. I'm kicking around that idea, especially if we wind up doing the podcast, doing more Q&A, because I think those types of podcasts are the ones that I like most, where I can listen to it and I can get information that pertains to me. And so that's what I really want this to be, and then that as well. So appreciate you guys being here, or you guys being here. We need to... Apparently, I've been drinking just fine.
I haven't been. I've been reading comments.
It's great having you guys here, guys. Let us know if you got any other questions, all right?
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.